Did you know that onions are an excellent companion plant? When planted within proximity of other various plants, such as fruiting plants that you might derive food from, they have traits that will deter specific pests. Greetings. We are in the process of converting our farm and orchard into a food forest, and today I'm going to be discussing onions and how we're going to be implementing them. So I'm going to start down here within the food forest. As you can see, I have spaced holes along the trellis where I plan on having some fruiting plants that are usually impacted heavily by pests. Now, onions are only going to deter specific pests, which is why I have them spaced out as far as I do. And that enables me to have enough space in between to where I can plant plants such as basil that will help deter other specific pests. And the plan is to do it along all of the trellises and even around some of the lower fruit trees on the other side of the orchard. Moving on down to where we're planting our higher density crops such as legumes and grains. Here you can see I just laid down some pine needles as mulch over the rows that we just weeded and raked and planted onions into. And in between, that's oats that I thought would be dead by now, but we were planning on using that for mulch. If they do spring back, I'm just going to let them grow as well. But if not, then we're either going to be planting some spring wheat in between these rows or some soybeans. But regardless of that, we have plenty of space for legumes such as the soy and the beans and other grains such as sorghum, corn, and even going to plant some canola this year as well. And this area is within close proximity to where the orchard begins, so they can definitely mutually benefit each other. So if the concept of food forests, permaculture, and other ethical and sustainable farming practices is something that interests you, feel free to follow us and join us on this journey. And like many of you, some of these concepts are relatively new to me as well. And even though the idea of converting our orchard into a food forest is rather daunting to me, it ultimately moves us in the direction that we want to with our whole operation. We are trying to implement practices which specifically benefit the land as much as it benefits us versus exploiting the land and altering the ecosystem in a negative manner.